My name is Casey Allen. I am a lecturer in environmental and earth science, and I'm here today to talk to you about the environmental science program at the University of the West Indies in the Faculty of Science and Technology and the Department of Biological and Chemical Sciences. We are a relatively new major, established in 2018, but we've had steady growth since that time. Just the last couple of years, we've had one graduate so far, and in 2021, we'll have at least 6 more. We offer a variety of classes. The environmental science major and minor can be combined with other majors and minors, and those of us teaching in the program love fieldwork. Environmental science at UE centers on 4 overarching components. We study climatology, that is the distribution, the dynamics, and the variation of Earth's climate. We study oceanography, that incorporates the geology, the physics, the chemistry, and the biology of oceans. We focus on landforms and those processes that shape Earth's landscape, and renewable energy in the form of sustainable energy resources like solar energy and wave energy. To learn about those subject areas, we offer an array of different classes. We have 3 courses specifically focused on a foundation at level 1 to give everybody equal footing to then dive into level 2 and level 3 courses. So courses like Earth's climate, environmental history, chemistry of the environment, essentials of ecology, as well as more advanced classes like climate variation and change, Caribbean environmental law, climate biosphere and ecosystems. And we also have new courses. Environmental history will be taught in semester 2, beginning in 2021. Landscapes and landforms of the Lesser Antilles will be added next year. Urban geomorphology will be added next year. And we also have a couple of more research-focused studies for classes for students. This case study in environmental science and something called Environmental Science Research Project. At level 1, you're going to be learning the foundation of environmental science, and that can begin with Earth and its environment. A course where you're going to develop not just knowledge about the physical geography, where the physical features are on the Earth's surface and how they're arranged and why they're there, but also how humans interact with those physical features on Earth's surface. With respect to the Introduction to Oceans and Climates course, you're going to be focusing on understanding the science that's behind climate, how oceans are and why they are and where they are, and how the oceans and atmosphere interact to help generate the climates around the world. In Landform Dynamics, we study the science of scenery, those processes that give rise to the many different forms that we see on our planet. In oceanography, you're going to be required to gain a working knowledge of ocean processes, and this involves getting into the field. You'll take at least one field trip on a boat, for example, to learn more about the physical, the chemical, and biological aspects of oceanography. When you take Earth's climate, you're going to learn the different tools that climatologists use to understand atmospheric and oceanic circulations and how they affect different places around the world and create regional climates. In the Earth Life Cycles course, you're going to be looking at geologic time and cycles that have been recurring since the formation of the Earth. So things like Milankovitch cycles, basic elemental cycles, and mass extinctions, the rise of life, the extinction of life, throughout this large geologic time period of over 4.5 billion years. In the Sustainable Energy Systems course, you're not only going to learn about different sustainable energy systems, but also the barriers that might be in place preventing their adoption or their use. And you're also going to learn about the different skills and knowledge that goes into understanding these renewable energy resources and these sustainable energy resources as they apply to small island developing nations and the Caribbean. If you decide to take environmental chemistry, you're going to focus on those natural chemical processes that occur in air and water and soil. So you're going to be focusing on issues that are related to air pollution, greenhouse gases, ocean acidification, and soil quality. If you decide to continue on and study even more about climates, you might take the course Climate Variation and Change. And here you're going to build on what you've already learned in previous courses and develop those analytical and statistical skills that you will need to know to understand climate variations through time. And we're going to focus, in this class, we focus specifically on the Holocene, which is about the last 10,000 years or so. The Natural Hazards course is a team-taught course, and we focus here on raising awareness about the types of natural hazards that can occur in the Caribbean. So not just volcanic eruptions or hurricanes, but tsunamis and earthquakes. And we focus specifically on not just learning about them, but understanding ways that we can mitigate potential dangers from these hazards. We also provide you an opportunity to take theoretical ideas that you may have learned in previous classes and apply them to real issues. This is done through the Case Study in Environmental Science course. And here you're working directly with a member of the faculty to develop an idea, to synthesize that information, analyze it, and maybe develop it into a concept for dissemination, to get your information out there to a wider audience. Case studies take place over a single semester, so they need to be short-term focused research opportunities. We offer these, a few of these every year. Now, if you have a research question or a research idea that might take longer than a semester, we offer Research Project in Environmental Science. And here, you're getting practical research experience in a specific environmental science topic. You work again with a faculty member, but here you're spending the first semester kind of putting together your ideas, your research concepts, and you present them. You present it as a proposal to a body of faculty. And then after their questions and some tweaking with you and between you and your faculty member, you then pursue that research through the rest of that semester and into the following semester, where you tidy up your research and then you give a presentation to a body of faculty members about what you did, and you defend your research. It's an exciting way to kind of engage with faculty and get some really strong hands-on applied research experience. Okay, so now you know a little bit about the types of courses that are offered in the environmental science program. But who's going to be teaching them? Well, Dr. Isabel Gorion has a background in geography, geoscience of the environment, and physical geography and climatology. And she teaches the Foundation Earth and its Environment course, as well as our climate classes, and she team teaches natural hazards with me. My background's also in geography and education, with a focus on geomorphology and landscapes. So I teach our Landform Dynamics class, our Earth Systems and Earth Life Cycles class, and that Natural Hazards course with Dr. Gorion. Dr. Smith has a background in oceanography and chemistry, marine resources, and environmental science. And she teaches our environmental chemistry courses and also our oceanography courses. And then Dr. Legina Henry has her background in mechanical engineering, and she teaches the sustainable energy systems courses as well as some physics courses. So the specialties and background of the environmental science program's faculty follows this slide that I showed you a little bit earlier. You have climatology, that is a specialty of Dr. Gorion. You have oceanography, a specialty of Dr. Smith, landforms, a specialty of myself, Dr. Allen, and renewable energy, a specialty of Dr. Henry's. So the cool thing though with environmental science is that these are not separate individual disciplines. In fact, we work at the nexus of all of these in environmental science. Environmental science at its heart is an interdisciplinary major. So if you want to learn a little bit about climatology and landforms and oceanography and renewable energy and how they interact together, environmental science is a great option. And now that you know who's going to be teaching these great classes in environmental science, what does it take to gain entry into the environmental science major at UWI? Well, first off, you need to have 2 full CAPE in science or an associate degree with a GPA of 3.0 in a science. And I've listed here the major CAPE science options that we would accept. So agricultural science, any of the maths, biology, chemistry, environmental science, computer science, geography, physics, right? The subject area that you focus on will depend on which options you want to take. But let's say that you decide you have your CAPE in biology and geography, but you want to take that environmental chemistry class from Dr. Smith. Well, if you don't have a chemistry CAPE, we offer preliminary year courses that you can catch up with to be able to take that subject. Because some courses are only available with a specific background or prerequisite courses. Once you gain entry into the environmental sciences program at UWI, what's required? What courses do you have to take? Well, at level 1, we require 6 credits for the major. You have to take either Introduction to Oceans and Climate or Earth and Its Environment, plus ENSC 1001, which currently is called Introduction to Geology, Dynamic Earth, and next year we'll change the name. It's going to be called Landform Dynamics. At level 2, you're required to take 3 courses, or 9 credits, Essentials of Oceanography, Earth Life Systems, which we are renaming next year to Earth Life Cycles, and Earth's Climate. And those courses, those 5 courses, give you a strong foundation to then jump into more level 2 and level 3 environmental science courses, of which you're going to need 21 total credit hours there, okay? And that's it for the major requirements. Now, please note that some courses have prerequisites, so you're going to have to check with your advisor before registering each semester so that you can make sure you are on track to take the courses that you want to take. Now, maybe doing a major in environmental science is a little bit too much for you. Maybe you just want a little bit of exposure to the environmental science program. In that case, you might want to do a environmental science minor. And this requires 6 credits at level 1, those same foundation courses of Introduction to Oceans and Climate or Earth and Its Environment, plus the the Intro to Geology course, which next year we are going to be calling Landform Dynamics, and then 15 credits from level 1 and level 2 classes, okay? So basically what you're doing for the minor, all of those courses will count for the major as well. So if you start out as an environmental science minor and decide you really like what you're doing and you want to do more, you can always use those courses that you took for the minor and apply them towards a major and earn a major in environmental science. Remember back to the first of this presentation where I mentioned that the environmental science program was fairly new at UE Cave Hill, that it was started in 2018 with just a handful of majors? Well, as of November 2020, we are pushing 60 majors in environmental science. And our major is sometimes paired with other majors in the Faculty of Science and Technology, like ecology, biology, and meteorology. And some students are doing minors in those disciplines, as well as others, but they also might be doing a double major. Students might have a major in environmental science and ecology, or environmental science and biology. Now, on top of our majors, we also have over 20 minors in environmental science currently. And this minor is popular with students who major in fields like ecology and biology and meteorology, as well as other science and technology majors like chemistry. Because the environmental science major is fairly new at UE Cave Hill, we don't have a lot of data yet on where our graduates are, what they do after they leave us. But we have had at UE Cave Hill minors in environmental science and earth science for the previous several years. And those graduates have gone on to be graduate students at St. Vincent, Canada, done postdocs in England, working at a meteorological center in Canada, having internships with CIMH, the Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology here in Barbados, as well as other opportunities. For example, some of our recent graduates work in scientific centers like the CIMH. They work for consulting firms, environmental agencies, governmental agencies like the Coastal Zone Management Unit. Others of them have continued for graduate school for an advanced degree, either here at UE or a Canadian institution, maybe an institution in the UK or the US. Others of them work as research assistants. And in fact, in the business sector, some of our graduates in the Faculty of Science and Technology with an environmental science background end up in the banking and insurance industries. Environmental science is varied, it's interdisciplinary, and it gives you skills to work in many different career fields and very many different types of jobs. To sum up the environmental science programs at the UE Cave Hill, entry into the environmental science major requires at least 2 full capes in science, or an associate degree with a 3.0 GPA in a science, right? You will, as an environmental science major or minor, you'll have a variety of courses that you can choose from, and a diverse set of faculty members who teach those courses. The environmental science program also gives you several opportunities for fieldwork and even personalized research. And you'll have many different options and possibilities for after graduation employment. One last thing I want to mention before we take questions. The UE at Cave Hill has a club run by students in the environmental science program. And this environmental club at Cave Hill works to promote environmental awareness and environmental literacy at UE, as well as the local communities. They sponsor several activities throughout the year focused on their mission, explained here in this paragraph. But this is a student organization, right? This environmental club. You can follow what they've done on Insta, Cave Hill Envy Club on Instagram, and see some of the activities that have taken place over the last few years. And with that, we would now like to take any questions that you might have regarding the environmental science major or minor at the UE Cave Hill.